Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat, we'll look at 3 center consoles that are great all-around fishing and family boats. They're easy to handle, affordable to operate, and perform amazingly well when compared to their larger counterparts. When a bay boat is too small for the mission, but you still want a manageable sized boat for one man and your budget, a small center console in the 18 to 22 foot range will allow you to drift the bay for trout, fish the inlet for snook, and troll a weed line for dolphin. The higher freeboard of a deep V hull design gives you a more secure feeling once you've cleared the jetties and are headed out to deep water. Some key features to look for in this class of center console boats are: a boat with built-in insulated storage, which can be used as a cooler or fish box, will have more deck space since you won't have to bring a portable ice chest along. A console with head will be a welcome feature for the family and can be used for additional storage. If you're going to use the boat for fishing, choose one that has a large live bait well. A center console with a deep V entry will give you a smooth ride and allow you to handle rough water better than a hull that is designed for inland use. Bow seating is another feature that the family will enjoy for cruising or sandbar picnics. Stern seating gives your passengers a comfortable place to sit while underway, especially on long runs. Since this size boat is capable of heading offshore, having a boat with ample freeboard gives you and your crew a more secure feeling of being inside the boat when you venture beyond the inlet. A leaner seat is a practical option for a captain that wants to be able to operate his boat while standing. The nice thing about a boat in this class is that you can power it with a single outboard and still get plenty of performance and fuel efficiency. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they feature 3 center console boats in the 18 to 22 foot range that allow Dad to fish offshore, plus cruise Mom and the kids in comfort without either side compromising. They are the Sea Fox 186 Commander, with an overall length of 18 feet 4 inches, a beam of 8 feet, and max horsepower rating of 150. The Sea Born LX22, with an overall length of 22 feet 5 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and max horsepower rating of 250. And the Release 196 RX, with an overall length of 19 feet 6 inches, a beam of 8 feet 3 inches, and max horsepower rating of 150. They'll be conducting walkthroughs, test drives, and reviewing key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
Welcome to this episode of Best Boat. I'm Dave East, boating editor of Florida Sportsman Magazine.
And I'm Rick Riles, program director of Florida Sportsman Radio.
What we're going to look at today are center consoles in the 18 to 22 foot class. And really, this is not necessarily an entry-level boat. It's where most of us got our start.
Dave, it's where it all began 30 years ago, and it's where it begins for so many guys today. Boy, the first time you hear that reel scream, you know you got to get offshore. This is how most guys do it.
Well, you know, sometimes a bay boat is just a little bit too small for the mission. Even if it's got the length, a lot of people want that higher freeboard. It's a difference of being on the boat or being in the boat, and especially once you clear those jetties, that higher freeboard is really, really nice.
You know, and I don't even know how much of that's psychological. I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but I know one thing, I feel better when I've got some freeboard next to me.
Well, if you've got kids on board, a higher freeboard is nice, and something that you know a lot more about than I do. As you get older, you don't have your sea legs anymore. It's nice to have something to hang on to.
Thank you so much, that was so kind. No, you're right, and you don't know why and you don't know how, but we talk about it so often. It's the experience. The experience of being offshore is better with a boat with higher freeboard.
Well, it really is, and you know what I'm seeing? These boats have been around for a long time, but the whole class of boat has really kind of transformed because we're seeing boats packed with features you used to not ever see in this size boat.
Oh, they all used to be so Spartan. Now they've got heads, they've got hard tops, they've got stereos, they've got everything to make you more comfortable in a maximum use of space. I mean, they use every inch of these boats. Well,
it used to be that this was really an entry-level fishing boat. This is where the guy got his first taste of offshore fishing, and he was tired of the river and he really wanted to get out there and taste that blue water fishing, and he would start with a boat like this, and pretty much they were a center console, and that was about it. But now we're seeing, like you said, we're seeing bow seating, stern seating, we're seeing heads in the console. If you want to clear that inlet and you want to go offshore, this is really the minimum size boat you really should be taking out there. Yeah, the bay boats can go out there, and yeah, you can even get it out there on a flats boat on a really, really nice day. But if you get out there and you get caught in an afternoon squall, you're really going to want that extra fiberglass around you, and that's where these boats really shine.
Each one of these boats is a little bit different. Let's go get on them and check them out.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This segment brought to you by Marine Customs Unlimited. You dream it, we build it. We do it all. Custom fiberglass repair, upholstery and canvas work, custom dash panels, specializing in insurance claims, Suzuki and Yamaha sales and service. We do it all. One-stop boat shop, home of fantastic plastics and the fiberglass shop. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we'll be featuring versatile center console boats in the 18 to 22 foot range.
Okay, let's take a look at the Sea Fox 186 Commander. It might be the smallest boat of the three that we brought, but it's got some really big boat features.
Boy, did they maximize space. So many areas on the boat have more than one usage.
It really does. If you look at the console, it's really big for an 18-foot boat. There's a head down there, and I like the way they did the double fold door where it's easy to get inside.
It's easy to get inside. You could actually get in there and get out of the weather. I've had to do that before, by the way, on a small boat. And it's very comforting to have it if you've got it. One of the big boat features was the live well. Very impressed with this one. Good size, good circulation. It's there for a fisherman that needs a lot of live bait.
I also like the insulated storage that they have. You can bring your drinks, you can have plenty of ice, and you've got a place to put it where you don't absolutely have to bring a cooler if you don't want to. But there's a lot of other features on this boat that really make it stand out, so let's go take a look.
Remember what I said about multiple uses? How about this bow? It's perfect for throwing the cast net or casting. Put your cushion right here. What perfect bow seating facing aft.
Well, they've got the built-in handrails, built-in cup holders. It's really neat. Normally you wouldn't see something like this on an 18-foot boat, but here again, it's not just for fishing. If you want to bring the family along, this is where they're going to be sitting. If you move aft to the console, this front seat has got a real insulated cooler built into it. And here again, you don't necessarily have to bring the cooler. There's room for it underneath the leaner, and that would make a great fish box. You bring your fish in, you put them in the cooler, you take your cooler onto the dock to clean it. But for your drinks, to keep them insulated, keep the ice all day, it's great that they've done this on the front seat of the console.
It gives it more than one usage. It's a great seat, plus it's an excellent cooler, and you have drink holders next to it. That's well done.
Well, if you look at the size of the console, it may look a little large for an 18-foot boat, but what I love about it is you can step down inside and have plenty of room. There's a head down in there, easy access through that door. So yeah, you might give up a little space having a console this large, but if you really want to use it as an enclosed head or a lot of storage, this is the size console that you need.
Oh, it's very valuable to have when you take the family fishing. There's no question about whether the ladies are going to prefer that or not. They are. Well, let's move after the console. There's some stuff I want to show you on it.
Yeah, there's plenty of room to walk past it. No problem at all. Even with the rods in the holder, you're not going to hit the gunnel, you're not going to hit the side of the console.
Let me tell you something I like right off the bat. We're starting to see more and more of it. These forward sloping center consoles. What that means is you put your cell phone up here. It's padded. It ain't going anywhere. It ain't going to come falling back on the deck.
Well, one of the advantages about having a console this large in this boat is look at how much room you've got for your flush-mounted electronics. And I like the fact that they went with switches, and they got away from the touch screen, and your gauges are right here in the center, so that way it's easier to see when you're driving.
And you know, for us old guys that are tuned to these analog gauges, these are perfect, all right? We enjoy those. We enjoy being able to look at the dials and see what the boat's doing. There's a lot to like about this bigger console on this 18-foot boat.
Well, another thing that fits too is the leaner, the way they did it. It's comfortable to sit on, but it's your typical leaner that this boat really should have. If you're gonna take the boat fishing, you want a cooler underneath for your fish box, you got a nice built-in footrest on the bottom of the console. This leaner is just another part that fits this boat perfectly.
Remember when we talked about multi-usage? You've got it at the stern too. A great place to stand there and cast, or flip-up seating with an excellent live well.
Let's take a look at it. You know, there is a lot going on back here at the stern. You've got two little built-in swim platforms. You've got a folding ladder that folds up into the transom. You've got the flip-up seats, and you've got the live well with the cup holders on either side.
Right, it's being able to use the area for more than one usage. Let me tell you, this is an excellent live well too. Got a built-in overboard drain, of course, gasket around it, and because all live wells are eventually going to splash out some, they've dug a channel right there to where it doesn't get your butt wet, it just slides on out the back into the splash well. It's designed not to overflow. It's in the center of the boat so two guys can get to it at once. Excellent place to have it.
Well, if you're looking for an 18.5-foot boat that's got the features normally found in a much, much larger center console, the Sea Fox 186 Commander might be the exact boat you need.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This segment brought to you by Armstrong, celebrating 25 years of creativity and innovation.
Do you have the Armstrong advantage? In its most basic form, an Armstrong outboard bracket improves the efficiency of your outboard motor. This equates to a faster time to plane and higher top speeds. The list of advantages continue with improved maneuverability, added space, and a quieter ride. Adding a swim platform accompanied by an Armstrong boarding ladder will certainly add to your day out on the water. Isn't it time for you to gain the Armstrong advantage?
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we'll be featuring versatile center console boats in the 18 to 22 foot range.
Okay, this is the Sea Born LX22 center console, and if you're looking for a boat in this class and category, but you don't want to give up any features, you got to check out this boat.
Man, was there some stuff I loved about this boat. The bow seating, the stern seating. You know how big a deep V guy I am. So many things to like. At the top of the list for me is the ride. She gets that from a deep V entry.
Well, one of the big advantages of a deep V entry on any hull is a smoother ride. A deeper V will cut through the waves better than a flatter entry will. So if you're looking at a boat in the same length, one that has a deep V entry will actually have a smoother ride over the same length boat that has a modified V. It's also enhanced that it's got double steps in the hull. That's going to add to its efficiency and just our overall performance of the boat. But it's going to take us a while to go through this boat. There's so many features, so let's get started.
Dave, my daughter, who's now a mother, by the way, grew up sleeping on a sport fishing boat. She's suing me because we didn't have forward seating. You can take quite a nap up here.
Well, what I like about the forward seating on this boat is just that. You're facing forward. You're not facing aft. Because a lot of people just don't like the feel of that. But two, when the boat's underway, you've got the wind in your face. But let's say you're going to go fishing with the guys. Pop the backrest out, pop the cushions off, and you've got enough of a deck to stand on for throwing a cast net or casting. And let's say you do happen to catch a big fish. These are two nice, big, long, insulated fish boxes.
Well, this is what I wanted boat builders to do for a long time. I love having these seats up high like this. I love especially these deep, long fish boxes, you know. But you can still got a step to throw a cast net, and you're plenty secure. You're in the boat, you're not on the boat.
Well, you can walk all the way almost to the bow, and you're still down in the cockpit. You haven't made that step up yet. So having that little area open in here, it's big. And then plus we've got additional storage down here in the floor.
No, they did this area really, really well. Let's step back and look at the console because there's a lot to like there too.
Well, this bow seating package, it's rounded out by a seat that's also on the front of the console. And beneath this seat is an insulated cooler. And really that's where all your drinks are going to go because that's where you're going to be using them up here at the bow.
Nothing irritates me more than to have a nice boat. It's big enough, you've got to full people, but then you got to add a cooler somewhere. Okay, you don't have to do that here. We've got that taken care of. It's got a nice big center console, but what I really like is this seat. What I love about this seat is it's split. I don't know what it is about running a boat, but particularly if I'm in unfamiliar waters, I have got to stand up. But that doesn't mean the person next to me has to all the time.
Well, you have a choice. And the way the bolsters are, the way they're curved, when you're leaning against this bolster, you're kind of locked in. So if you get in rough water, it's just a more secure feel.
You're exactly right. If you want to sit, you've got a nice footrest here to put your feet up. But I got to tell you, I'm very comfortable leaning back in just this curved bolster you're talking about. It's a great way to run a boat.
Well, not only that, what they've done is they incorporated the rod holders in the back and they match with the rod holders that are in the T-top. Because in this boat, you're going to fish this boat. It's 22 feet. You're going to take this boat offshore. You've got kingfish rod holders here that you can use instead of having to put outriggers on the boat. And you've got 8 rod holders for your trolling rigs.
You know what? As much as we've liked on this boat, they might have saved the best for last. This is great stern seating.
Well, this is more than just seating. What I like, it's long, it's wide, it can be used as a lounge instead of just an individual seat. But where you're sitting right now, we always talk about systems access, and you're going to be one to maintain your pumps and your hoses and stuff like that. This is the ultimate access to your system. That entire seat removes, and you can get everything right there in front of you. It's so, so easy to work on.
Well, this isn't the first Sea Born we've done, but it runs through all of them. It's the ease of working on. You can tell the people that build these boats have worked on boats.
Well, if you look at the overall design of this transom, I'm sitting on top of an insulated cooler which could double as a fish box, especially if you're snapper fishing or something like that. Your longer fish can go in the insulated box up front. Ultimate access we've already talked about, and you've got a live well on this side.
It's shaped the way it should be. It has maximum circulation, it's round, functions very, very well as a live well. They used better use of space in the transom of this boat than most of the boats I've seen on the market in the last 5 years.
Well, they're not done with just the couch either. The bracket, a lot of times they bolt on brackets in like an Armstrong or something like that to get this kind of a swim bracket, but they've actually made this a molded part of the boat. This is a full width swim bracket with a ladder that folds. So when you come out of the water, you've got a bracket that goes the full width of the boat.
And you've got a transom door where you're sitting. Simply step on the boat, makes everything so easy.
All right, so if someone's looking for a 22-foot boat This LX22 center console's got all the features that you might be looking for in a multi-use boat, family fishing and everything, but it's in the smaller size. This might be the boat that best fits your budget and your garage.
Be careful when you say smaller size. You and I have been on boats that felt big for their size and felt small for their size. This is a big 22-foot boat.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This segment brought to you by My FWC. Life jackets save lives.
Boating is a great way to relax, but staying safe means being aware. Don't get distracted. Always pay attention to your surroundings. Be aware of other boaters. Stay focused. Stay alert. The marine environment is constantly changing. Stay safe and be aware.
When filming for Florida Sportsman Best Boat, the cast and crew stayed at Pirates Cove Resort and Marina in Stuart, Florida. Family owned and operated, featuring 50 renovated rooms with an outstanding restaurant and a full-service 50-slip marina. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we'll be featuring versatile center console boats in the 18 to 22-foot range.
Let me tell you about the Release 196, all right? You ever heard the old formula KISS, keep it simple, stupid? This boat is designed to be on the water, not getting fixed.
Well, if you're really going to be more fishing than you are family, I love the way they've laid this boat out because it's got enough family features to be comfortable, but yet they've left it to where a fisherman can get the decks all bloody and simply hose it off.
We used to call them fire hose boats. You get home, you hit them with the fire hose, they're ready to go back fishing. There's a lot to like about simplicity and minimum upkeep.
Well, the three things that stand out of this boat is the fact that it's powered with a single engine, because you don't have to run a twin in a boat this size. We like the fact that it's got a real leaner, and if you look at the freeboard, that's what really makes this class stand out above all the other smaller boats that we've looked at, the freeboard to keep you in the boat.
Woo! Think about white water and a choppy inlet. Give me some freeboard then, and this boat's got it in spades. Let's get on board and check some of this stuff out. This boat's ready to go fishing.
I know one of your pet peeves is that the casting decks on some of the boats we've looked at is actually too high. I love the way Release did this. They've got a little bit of a step up to where I'm high enough if I want to throw a cast net or I want to fight a fish off the bow, but I'm not so high that I'm not inside the boat anymore.
You're in the boat, you're not on top of the boat. That's the difference. And you're right, this is perfect for spreading out a cast net. You've got enough freeboard up here to keep you safe and secure and get your cast laid out perfectly with a jumbo fish box under here that I really appreciate.
Well, if you're going to take this boat offshore, which you're gonna, and you catch a big fish, you got to have a place to put it. I like the fact that they've thought that through. They've got a nice big insulated box.
Let me give you another thing. You step off of this bow, headed to the console. How nice is it to have this rail to hold on to on a rough day?
All right, let's take a look at the console as we go aft.
Hold on before you go anywhere. Realize how much freeboard you have up here. You realize how much more secure when a boat comes this high on you are versus when you stand on top of it?
Well, that's what we had said earlier. In this boat, you're more in the boat than you're on the boat. If you're out in rough water, you've got smaller kids, or if you've got older people on board, it's nice having all this fiberglass around. You've got a handrail to hang on to, but this is the beauty of a boat in this size range, in this category and class. You're looking at a boat that's a little over 19 feet long, but it's got the features of a much, much larger center console.
Love the console, love the forward slope, love the fact you've got a lip around it to keep your stuff on top of the console where it belongs. Down inside there is where this console really shines.
Well, there's enough room for a head, and you've got a nice door on the side where you can actually get into the console comfortably.
And you've got a big flat space right here, a 12-inch screen, fits next to your dials just like it should.
Well, we talked earlier about this boat being all function. If you look at the leaner, it's perfect. What I like about it is there's enough room for a cooler underneath it. They've got the angle right, it's comfortable to sit or lean against, and the backrest is removable. So let's say we're going to be cruising, taking the family, the backrest is going to come with us because this is comfortable. But if it's just the boys and we're going to go fishing, I'm going to leave the backrest at home. That gives me 2 more rod holders.
Gives you 2 more rod holders, and you never have to reach around to pull your rod out. And I'm with you. If I'm going fishing, this stays home. You can do it easily in this boat.
Well, this is the best place to store a rod on a leaner like this because as we're heading offshore, this is where you're going to be rigging your baits. So as you're running us offshore, I'm getting everything prepped and ready to go back here. Or if we are trolling, our rods are right here and they're ready. So the design of this is perfect for a boat that you're going to be fishing out of. You really need a leaner like this so you can get to your rods quick.
Man, I like these seats back here. They've got this area the right height, Dave. You can sit, you're plenty high enough. I could get real comfortable here.
Well, some of the boats we looked at have stern seating like this, and they all actuate with hinges or whatever. I like the fact that this boat, if you don't want it, you can just take the cushions off, you can take the backrest off, but there's nothing to move, there's nothing to actuate.
Keep it simple. That's what we've talked about this whole boat. All right, you know what else is simple? Powering it with this single 115. It's a super power plant for this boat.
Well, it's all the power this boat needs. It's got plenty of performance. What I like about it is less money to purchase, less money to maintain, less money for fuel. Your fuel burn on this boat is like you had said earlier, it's almost what your car has.
That's right, it's a whole different level, okay? When you're going fishing, you're not equating, boy, is it worth the investment to run all the way out there and check that? Run all the way out there isn't a big factor anymore. You're talking about getting several miles per gallon. You're gonna get there cheaper than you can on a bigger twin engine boat.
Well, you can see this boat's time to plane, and you can see the way it's running. The running attitude will tell you everything about the boat. This boat does not struggle. It planes off, it runs super, super clean. This is all you need. A single outboard on this size boat is perfect.
Sometimes there is perfection in simplicity, my boy. Not much to fix, not much to pay for, easy to run and easy to clean. There's a lot to like about the Release 196.
Whether it's your first venture at trying your hand at offshore fishing or downsizing into a boat that's easier on you and your finances, a small center console can handle a wide variety of applications and may just be the best boat for you.
Boy, this is great. I love this. This was old home week for me because this is where so many of us got our start. But I hardly recognize what a 20-foot center console looks like anymore. These boats can do things my old 20-foot center console never dreamed of.
Well, they really can. And so if you're looking for a boat in the 18 to 22-foot class, one of these boats might be exactly what you're looking for.
Well, it fits so many things. Towing it fits in your family budget, fits in the carport. It just fits an awful lot of applications when you still got to get offshore.
Well, you know what? There's really no compromise when you have a great deep V entry like that. You got a nice high bow. If you get into some boat wakes or you get right by the inlet and it's rough, or once you're offshore, if you've got to come back through some bad weather, having that nice high bow really is an asset. If you want more information on the 3 boats that you've seen today or all the boats that we've tested in this season of Best Boat, go to our website, floridasportsman.com, go to the boating page and click on the Best Boat link.
Or we'll see you next week on another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
Be sure to join us next week as we look at 30 to 32-foot center consoles on Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Each month, turn to Florida Sportsman for the best in boating and fishing coverage.